The bridge of the horizon's edge was quiet. Captain Minho stood near the main window, watching the stars move past them. His ship was small compared to the military vessels back home, but it was perfect for diplomatic missions. Earth had sent him here to make friends with the alien species. So far, things were going well. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," Lieutenant Yuna said from her station. She was the communications officer, and her job was to listen for any signals in space. Minho walked over to her console. "What kind of strange?" Yuna frowned at her screen. The lines and waves on it made no sense. "It's a signal, but it's all broken up. I can barely read it. Wait, it might be a distress call." Ambassador Jiwan looked up from her desk. She was Earth's representative to the Galactic Council, and she took her job very seriously. "Can you tell where it's coming from?" "Let me try to clean it up." Yuna's fingers moved quickly over her keyboard. The signal cleared a little, but not much. "I think... Yes, these are coordinates. It's coming from a mining colony. The Relthani people run it." Minho knew about the Relthani. They were peaceful aliens who mined minerals from asteroids. They never caused trouble with anyone. "Are they asking for help?" "I think so, but the message is too corrupted. I can only get pieces of it. Something about equipment failure? Maybe life support?" Jiwan stood up and walked to the center of the bridge. She was tall and always wore her formal ambassador clothes. "The Relthani are peaceful people. If they're in trouble, we should help them. It would show the Galactic Council that humans are trustworthy." Minho thought about it. They were supposed to be heading to a trade meeting, but that could wait. "All right. Yuna, send a message back to Earth Fleet Command. Tell them we're investigating a possible distress call. Send them the coordinates, too." "Yes, Captain." Yuna started typing the message. She didn't notice the small warning light on her console. There was a solar flare happening between their ship and Earth. The radiation would mess up any signal passing through it. Minho turned to his pilot. "Change course. Take us to those coordinates. Best speed." The ship turned smoothly and jumped into faster-than-light travel. Inside the bridge, everyone felt a little nervous but also excited. This could be their chance to save lives and prove that humans were good allies. Behind them, Yuna's message traveled through space toward Earth. But as it passed through the solar flare, the radiation scrambled it. Words changed, meanings twisted. What should have said, "distress call, diplomatic investigation required," came out very different on the other end. 3 hours later, the horizon's edge dropped out of FTL near the mining colony. Minho expected to see damaged ships or stations. Instead, everything looked normal. The colony was a collection of habitats connected by tubes, floating near a large asteroid. Small mining ships moved back and forth, cutting rocks and bringing them inside. "This doesn't look like an emergency," Jiwan said, confused. Yuna tried to contact the colony. "Mining Colony Pel 7, this is the human vessel, Horizon's Edge. We received your distress call. What is your situation?" A moment later, a voice came through. It sounded surprised and spoke through a translator. "Distress call? We sent no distress call. We are fine here. Why have you come?" Everyone on the bridge looked at each other. Minho felt embarrassed. "Maybe there was a mistake. Can you check your recent transmissions?" "One moment." There was silence for a while. Then the voice came back. "Ah, yes. 3 hours ago, we sent a routine maintenance request to our supply station. Our water recycler needs a new part. But that is not an emergency. It was just a normal message." Yuna checked her console again. She felt her face turn red. "Captain, I think the signal got corrupted. What I thought was a distress call was actually just their maintenance request. The coordinates were right, but the message was wrong." Minho sighed. This was embarrassing, but at least no one was in danger. "Well, we're here now. Ambassador, maybe we can make this a diplomatic visit instead? Ji-won smiled. She was already thinking of ways to make this work. Good idea. Let's meet with the colony administrator. We can talk about trade and cooperation. Colony Pel 7, this is Ambassador Ji-won of Earth. We apologize for the confusion. Since we're here, would you like to meet? We can discuss future cooperation between our peoples. The alien on the other end sounded pleased. Yes, we would be honored. Administrator Pel-shan will meet you in Docking Bay 3. The Horizon's Edge moved closer to the colony and docked smoothly. Minho, Ji-won, and 2 security officers put on their suits and went to meet the aliens. The Relthani were small creatures, about half the size of humans. They had 4 arms and wore special suits because they breathed different air than humans. Administrator Pel-shan was friendly and excited to meet them. Welcome, welcome. It is not often we get visitors, especially from the famous humans. We have heard much about your species. Famous? Ji-won asked, curious. Oh, yes. Everyone talks about the humans from the Deathworld. They say your planet is very dangerous, but you survived it and reached the stars. Very impressive. Minho and Ji-won smiled politely, though they didn't think Earth was that special. To them, it was just home. They spent the next few hours talking with Pel-shan. The administrator showed them around the colony and explained how they mined the asteroids. It was actually quite interesting. Ji-won took notes on everything, thinking about future trade deals. Back on Earth, Admiral Dae-hyun sat in his command center. He was reading reports when an urgent message came through. His assistant brought it to him immediately. Sir, priority message from the Horizon's Edge. Dae-hyun opened it and read the words on the screen. His face went pale. The message said, under attack. Military response required. Hostile aliens. Coordinates attached. He stood up immediately. Sound the alarm. Get me fleet command, now. Within minutes, orders went out to every military ship in Earth's fleet. The message was clear. One of their diplomatic ships was under attack. They needed to respond with force. Admiral Dae-hyun pulled up a star map and marked the coordinates. How many ships can we mobilize in the next 12 hours? His staff worked quickly, checking which ships were ready. 47 ships, Admiral. 12 battle cruisers, 18 destroyers, 10 carriers, and 7 medical frigates. Send them all. No one attacks our people and gets away with it. Across the solar system, warships powered up their engines. Crews rushed to their stations. Weapons were loaded. Shields were charged. The largest human military fleet ever assembled prepared to jump to FTL. In the quiet mining colony, Minho and Ji-won had no idea what was coming. They were laughing with Pel-shan, drinking strange alien tea, and talking about asteroid mining techniques. The countdown to disaster had begun. Admiral Dae-hyun stood in the command center of Earth's military headquarters. Around him, dozens of officers worked at their stations. Screens showed ships moving into position all across the solar system. He had been a soldier for 30 years, fighting in Earth's resource wars before humanity reached the stars. He knew war. He knew how to protect his people. Status report, he said in a calm voice. Captain Sunwoo appeared on the main screen. He commanded the battlecruiser Indomitable, the most powerful warship in the fleet. My ship is ready, Admiral. All weapons are loaded. Shields at maximum. We can jump in 10 minutes. Other captains reported in one by one. Dae-hyun watched the fleet gather. 47 ships. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Each ship was built to survive Earth's harsh conditions and then some. They were tough, heavily armed, and fast. Admiral, Dr. Hyejin is asking to speak with you, an officer said. She says it's urgent. Dae-hyun sighed. He knew what the doctor would say. Put her through. Dr. Hyejin's face appeared on a smaller screen. She was the chief xenobiologist on the medical frigate Mercy. She looked worried. Admiral, please reconsider this. Sending the entire fleet? That's too much force. Let's try diplomatic channels first. Contact the Galactic Council. Let them investigate. Doctor, we received a distress call. Our people are under attack. Every minute we wait, they could be dying. But what if it's a misunderstanding? What if the message was wrong? These things happen with alien communications. Daehyun's jaw tightened. Doctor, I appreciate your concern, but I will not risk our people's lives on a what-if. We respond with overwhelming force. That's how we survived on Earth, and that's how we'll survive out here. Once we arrive and assess the situation, we can adjust. But we will not arrive unprepared. Hyejin looked frustrated, but she nodded. She knew she couldn't change his mind. At least let me prepare medical teams for alien casualties, too. If there's been an attack, the locals might need help. Good idea. Do it. Daehyun closed the connection and turned to his tactical officer. Are all ships in position? Yes, sir. Awaiting your order. Daehyun looked at the star map one more time. The coordinates were in a neutral zone, far from Earth. The trip would take 14 hours at maximum FTL speed. He thought about Captain Minho and Ambassador Ji-won. They were good people. He had personally approved their mission. If someone hurt them, there would be consequences. All ships, this is Admiral Daehyun. Jump to FTL on my mark. Stay in formation. Weapons ready, but hold fire until we assess the situation. We're going to get our people back. Mark, now. 47 ships disappeared in flashes of light. They tore through space faster than anything else in the galaxy. The human FTL drives were powerful, built by people who refused to accept limitations. On the carrier Atlas, Engineer Taeyong checked his fighters. He had 300 atmospheric fighters ready to launch. They were designed to fight in Earth's terrible weather, hurricanes, lightning storms, extreme heat, and cold. Fighting in space was easier by comparison. Sir, all fighters ready, his assistant reported. Taeyong nodded. Good. Tell the pilots to rest. When we arrive, we might need to move fast. Across the fleet, soldiers prepared themselves. They checked their weapons, their armor, their gear. Human soldiers trained in Earth's gravity, which was heavier than most planets. They trained in deserts, jungles, frozen wastelands, and underwater. They were ready for anything. Far away from the fleet, a small alien merchant ship detected strange energy readings. The captain was a Vrelnian trader named Tisk. He looked at his sensors and couldn't believe what he saw. That can't be right, he whispered. That's a military fleet, a big one. His co-pilot leaned over. Where's it going? Tisk checked the trajectory. Toward the neutral zone. The mining colonies are there. Why would anyone attack them? They have nothing valuable except rocks. Whose fleet is it? Tisk zoomed in on the energy signatures. His blood went cold. Human. It's the humans. The Deathworlders? Why would they send a fleet? I don't know, but we should tell someone. This could be bad. Tisk sent a message to the nearest Galactic Patrol Station. Emergency report. Human military fleet, 40-plus ships, heading to neutral zone at high speed. Purpose unknown. The message spread quickly. Within an hour, everyone in the sector knew. Aliens who had only heard stories about humans now had to face the reality. The Deathworlders were coming, and they brought weapons. At a trading station, aliens gathered around news screens. A reporter spoke urgently. We're receiving reports of a massive human fleet movement. This is unprecedented. Humans have never deployed this many ships outside their home system before. Military experts are trying to understand what this means. An alien merchant shook his head. I told you. I told everyone. Humans are dangerous. Did you see their ships? They're covered in armor and weapons. Those aren't exploration vessels. Those are war machines. Another alien, a Zenthari diplomat, tried to stay calm. Let's not panic. Maybe it's just an exercise. Maybe they're testing their ships. In our space, without asking permission? No, something is wrong. Back on the Indomitable, Captain Sunwoo walked through his ship. The crew worked efficiently, each person knowing their job. Sunwoo was proud of them. He stopped at the weapons bay and watched the crew load torpedoes. "Captain, do you think there will be a fight?" a young officer asked. Sunwoo thought about it. "I hope not. But if there is, we'll be ready." "That's our job. We protect our people. Always." "Sir, aren't you worried about the aliens? What they'll think when they see us coming?" "Let them think what they want. If they're innocent, they have nothing to fear from us. If they hurt our people, they'll learn why you don't mess with humans." The young officer nodded, feeling more confident. On the medical frigate, Dr. Hyejin prepared her staff. She had human doctors and a few alien specialists who worked with Earth. "Listen carefully. We don't know what we're going to find. There might be human casualties. There might be alien casualties. We treat everyone. Understood?" Her staff agreed. Hyejin hoped this was all a big mistake. She hoped they would arrive and find everyone safe. But deep down, she felt nervous. Humans had a reputation for being tough, maybe too tough. Other aliens didn't understand them yet. This could create big problems. 8 hours into the journey, Admiral Daehyun received another message. This one was from the Galactic Council. "Admiral Daehyun, this is Council Leader Vex Tara. We have received concerning reports about your fleet movement. Please explain your intentions immediately. You are approaching neutral space without authorization." Daehyun recorded a reply. "Council Leader, we received a distress call from one of our ships. We are responding. We will respect neutral space laws, but we will protect our people." "What distress call? We have no records of any attack in that sector." "I'm sending you the message we received. You can judge for yourself." Daehyun sent the corrupted transmission. Even he didn't know it was wrong. To him, it clearly said his people were under attack. Vexitara read the message and felt confused. Something didn't add up. But before she could reply, Daehyun's fleet was too far away to receive messages quickly. The communication delay was too long. "This is bad," Vexitara said to her staff. "The humans think there's been an attack. They're coming with a war fleet. But we have no reports of any fighting in that area. This could be a terrible misunderstanding." "What should we do?" "Send ships to the neutral zone. Fast ones. Maybe we can get there before the humans and figure out what's really happening." Across the galaxy, tension grew. Aliens watched the news and worried. The humans were coming. The Deathworlders who survived a planet that killed most species were bringing their weapons to a peaceful sector. No one knew what would happen next. On the horizon's edge, Captain Minho finished his tea with Administrator Pelshan. He had no idea that a fleet was coming to save him. He had no idea that the galaxy was about to see what humans really were. Captain Minho was enjoying his third cup of alien tea when Lieutenant Yuna's voice came through his communicator. She sounded panicked. "Captain, Captain, you need to get back to the ship right now." Minho stood up quickly. "What's wrong?" "Just get back here, please, hurry!" Minho apologized to Administrator Pelshan and ran back to the docking bay with his security team. When he got to the bridge, he saw Yuna staring at her sensor screen with wide eyes. "What is it?" Minho asked, breathing hard from running. Yuna pointed at the screen. "Ships, lots of ships. They're dropping out of FTL right now. It's the Earth fleet." "What? Why would they be here?" "I don't know, but Captain, it's not just a few ships. It's dozens of them. They're forming a battle formation around the colony." Minho looked at the main window. In the distance, flashes of light appeared as ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. One by one, massive vessels appeared. Battle cruisers with thick armor and huge weapons. Destroyers moving fast and deadly. Carriers with launch bays open, showing hundreds of fighters inside. Medical frigates with red crosses painted on their sides. "Oh no," Minho whispered. "Oh no, no, no." Ambassador Jiwan rushed onto the bridge. "What's happening? Why is the fleet here?" More ships appeared. They formed a perfect military formation around the colony, creating a sphere of protection, or a cage. Every weapon was active, every shield was charged, every sensor was scanning for threats. The human fleet looked terrifying and beautiful at the same time. On the colony, alarms started blaring. Administrator Pelshan's voice came through the communication system, shaking with fear. "What is this? Why are there warships? We are peaceful. We have no weapons. Please don't hurt us." Minho grabbed the communicator. "Pelshan, I don't know what's happening. Stay calm. Let me contact the fleet. Unknown vessel, this is Admiral Daehyun of the Earth Fleet. Identify yourself immediately." Minho recognized the voice. He had met the Admiral once before. "Admiral, this is Captain Minho of the Horizon's Edge. We're the diplomatic ship that sent the message." There was silence for a moment. "Captain Minho, you're alive? Are you hurt? Is the ambassador safe?" "We're fine. We're all fine." "Admiral, why are you here with the entire fleet?" "We received your distress call. You said you were under attack by hostile aliens. We came to extract you and neutralize the threat." Minho felt his stomach drop. "What? No, we never sent that message. We're not under attack. Everything is fine here." On the Indomitable, Admiral Daehyun frowned. "Captain, I have your message right here. It clearly states you're under attack and need military response." "Admiral, I think there's been a mistake. Can you send me the message you received?" Daehyun sent the file. Minho read it and felt sick. The words were all wrong. This wasn't what Yuna had sent at all. Yuna looked at the message and then at her logs. "Captain, I think the solar flare corrupted it. I sent a routine message saying we were investigating a possible distress call, but on their end it came through as an attack report." Minho closed his eyes. "This is bad." Jiwan took over the communicator. "Admiral Daehyun, this is Ambassador Jiwan. There's been a terrible mistake. We're not under attack. The colony here is peaceful. They were just doing routine maintenance. Their message got corrupted on our end, and then our message got corrupted on your end. This is all a big misunderstanding." On his battlecruiser, Admiral Daehyun looked around his bridge. His crew stared back at him, confused. He looked out at the peaceful mining colony floating in space. There were no enemy ships, no weapons fire, no signs of battle, just small mining vessels and scared aliens. "Stand down to yellow alert," Daehyun ordered. "Keep shields up but power down weapons. I need answers." A galactic patrol ship arrived at that moment. Officer Thren was the pilot, and he stopped his small vessel when he saw the human fleet. His 3 hearts beat fast with fear. The human ships were enormous compared to his little patrol boat. Their weapons could destroy entire stations. Their armor was thicker than his whole ship. "This is Galactic Patrol Officer Thren," he said, his voice shaking. "What is the situation here?" Captain Sunwoo responded from the Indomitable. "Stand by, Patrol Officer. We're sorting out a communication error." Thren looked at his sensors. The humans had brought enough firepower to conquer a small star system. "Communication error? You brought a war fleet for a communication error? We thought our people were under attack. So you mobilized this entire fleet for one ship?" "Yes." Thren felt his blood run cold. That was the answer that terrified him. These humans had mobilized 47 warships in less than 14 hours because they thought one of their ships was in trouble. What would they do if a whole colony was threatened? What would they do if Earth itself was attacked? On the mining colony, Pelshan watched the human ships with fear. His people had gathered in the common area, holding each other. They had never seen such large warships before. The humans built their ships like fortresses. Every surface was armored. Every angle was designed for combat. "Are they going to destroy us?" a young Relthani named Kipsha asked. I don't think so, Pelshan said, though he wasn't sure. They seem to be talking with the diplomatic ship. Maybe it's all a mistake. But why do they have so many weapons? Why are their ships so scary? Pelshan didn't have an answer. Admiral Daehyun called a video meeting with Captain Minho and Captain Sunwoo. They compared the messages side by side. The corruption was obvious once they looked carefully. Solar radiation had changed the words completely. "This is embarrassing," Daehyun said, rubbing his face. "I just brought the entire fleet here for nothing." "Sir, you couldn't have known," Sunwoo said. Minho felt terrible. "This is my fault. I should have double-checked before sending." Jiwon shook her head. "No one is at fault. It was a natural phenomenon. But, Admiral, we have a problem. Every alien in this sector just saw us arrive with a massive war fleet. They're going to be terrified." She was right. Already, messages were flooding communication channels. Alien ships were jumping away from the area. Trading stations were locking their doors. Military forces from other species were going on alert. "We need to do damage control," Jiwon said, "and fast." Officer Thren sent a report to the Galactic Council. His hands shook as he typed. "Council leader, the situation is unusual. The humans brought a military fleet because of a corrupted message. There was no attack, but I must report what I've seen. The human fleet is like nothing we've encountered. Their ships are built for war in ways we've never imagined. They're heavily armed, heavily armored, and they moved across the sector in 14 hours. Most importantly, they did all this for one small diplomatic vessel." Vexitera read the report and felt worried. "What does this tell us about the humans?" Her assistant spoke quietly. "It tells us they value their people above everything. It tells us they respond to threats with overwhelming force. It tells us we should never, ever attack them. Or," Vextara said slowly, "it tells us that if we ever need help, they would move the stars to reach us." Back at the colony, Admiral Daehyun made a decision. "Captain Minho, Ambassador Jiwon, we're here now. We might as well make this official. Let's meet with the colony administrator and apologize in person. Captain Sunwoo, have your ship stay on alert but keep the rest of the fleet relaxed. We don't want to scare anyone more than we already have." Minho felt relieved. "Good idea, Admiral. I'll arrange the meeting." As the human leaders prepared to meet with Pelshan, the news spread across the galaxy. Every species heard the same story. The humans had mobilized a war fleet for one ship. Some aliens called them crazy. Some called them dangerous. But many called them something else: loyal. In the Galactic Council building, Vextara called an emergency meeting. "We need to discuss what happened today. The humans have shown us something important about their nature. We need to understand them better before something like this happens again." The council members agreed. The Deathworlders had just made their mark on the galaxy. Nothing would be the same after this. The Galactic Council chamber was full. Every species in the local sector had sent representatives. The round room had seats arranged in circles, rising up like a stadium. At the center stood Ambassador Jiwon, looking calm despite the hundreds of alien eyes watching her. Council leader Vexitara spoke first. She was a Xanthari, tall and thin with silver skin that glowed slightly. "Ambassador Jiwon, we have called this emergency session because of the incident at Colony Pel 7. Can you explain why humanity sent a war fleet to a peaceful mining colony?" Jiwon stood straight. "Council leader, honored members, it was a misunderstanding. Our diplomatic ship received a corrupted transmission from the colony. We investigated. When we sent our report back to Earth, solar radiation corrupted that message too. Fleet Command believed we were under attack, so they responded." A Vrelnian delegate stood up, his voice shaking. "They sent 47 warships, 47, for one small diplomatic vessel. Do you understand how terrifying that is?" "I understand your concern," Jiwon said, "but from our perspective, we believed our people were in danger. We responded appropriately." "Appropriately?" another alien shouted. You brought enough weapons to destroy a planet. Vexitara raised her hand for silence. Let us stay calm. Admiral Daehyun, you are joining us by video link. Can you explain your decision? On the large screen, Admiral Daehyun appeared. He was in his dress uniform, his face serious. Council leader, when we received what we thought was a distress call, I had a choice. I could send a small rescue team and hope it was enough. Or I could send overwhelming force and make sure my people came home safe. I chose the latter. I would make the same choice again. But you didn't verify the information first? A delegate asked. There was no time. Every minute I waited could have meant more deaths. We train for worst-case scenarios. We prepare for maximum threats. That's why we brought the fleet. An elderly Krell delegate spoke up. Admiral, I have reviewed your fleet composition. 12 battle cruisers, 18 destroyers, 10 carriers, 7 medical frigates. This is not a rescue mission. This is an invasion force. Daehyun's expression didn't change. With respect, delegate, you don't understand. Those medical frigates? They were there to treat survivors. The carriers? They were ready to evacuate civilians. The battle cruisers? They were there to protect everyone else. Yes, we brought weapons, but we also brought doctors, engineers, supplies, and rescue equipment. We came prepared for anything. The council chamber went quiet. Many aliens hadn't thought about it that way. Vexitara leaned forward. Admiral, I think the real question everyone wants answered is this. Why such a strong response? Most species would send a small team first, assess the situation, then call for backup if needed. You did the opposite. You came with everything. Why? Daehyun was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was steady but passionate. Because we are human. Because we come from Earth. Because we learned a long time ago that sometimes you don't get a second chance. When your people are in danger, you don't hold back. You don't hope for the best. You prepare for the worst and you bring enough force to handle it. But one ship, someone started to say. One ship with our people on it, Daehyun interrupted. One ship with a captain I personally know, with an ambassador who represents us all, with crew members who have families waiting at home. They are not numbers. They are not acceptable losses. They are ours, and we protect what's ours. The chamber was silent. Many aliens looked uncomfortable. Some looked thoughtful. A few looked afraid. Vexitara turned to another screen. Dr. Hyejin, you are a xenobiologist. You study alien species. Can you help us understand the human perspective better? Dr. Hyejin appeared on screen. She looked tired but professional. Council members, I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding here. You keep calling Earth a death world, like it's just a label. Let me explain what that really means. She brought up images of Earth on the screens around the chamber. This is our home planet. Gravity, 1.0 G by our measurement. For most of you, this is 2 to 3 times what you're comfortable with. Our atmosphere is 21% oxygen. For many species here, that's literally poison. Our temperature ranges from minus 40 degrees to plus 50 degrees Celsius. Our weather includes hurricanes with wind speeds over 300 kilometers per hour, tornadoes, lightning storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. The aliens stared at the images. Some looked shocked. But it gets worse, Hyejin continued. Earth has predators, big ones. We have land animals that weigh several tons and can crush bones with their jaws. We have ocean creatures larger than your ships. We have tiny organisms that can kill you in hours. For millions of years, humans had to survive all of this without technology. A small alien in the back raised a tentacle. How did you survive? We adapted. We became resilient. We learned to work together. We learned that when danger comes, you respond with everything you have. Our bodies are dense and strong because of the high gravity. Our immune systems fight off diseases that would kill most species. Our bones are thick. Our muscles are powerful. We can run for hours without stopping. We can survive in environments that would be deadly to you. Captain Sunwoo, who was also present by video link, spoke up. I've served with alien crew members, good people, skilled workers, but I watched one of them collapse just from spending 2 hours in Earth standard gravity. What we consider normal would hospitalize most of you. An alien scientist stood up. Are you saying humans are naturally soldiers? No, Hyejin said firmly. We're saying humans are naturally survivors. There's a difference. Yes, we've fought wars among ourselves, terrible wars, but we've also built cities, created art, explored our world, and reached for the stars. The same drive that makes us protect our people also makes us help strangers. The same strength that makes us dangerous also makes us dependable. Jiwon added, We didn't come to Colony Pel 7 to conquer. We came because we thought someone needed help. When we realized our mistake, we didn't leave immediately. We stayed. We talked. We offered friendship. That's who we are. Vextara looked around the chamber. Council members, I think we need to reconsider our understanding of humanity. They are not warlike. They are protective. Their response seems excessive to us because we don't come from death worlds. We don't understand what it means to fight for survival every single day. But should we be afraid of them? Someone asked. Admiral Daehyun answered. Only if you threaten what we care about. We don't want conquest. We don't want war. We want peace, trade, and friendship. But if you attack us or our allies, you will see exactly what Death World survivors are capable of. Officer Thren, who had witnessed everything at the colony, was invited to speak. He stood nervously. Council leader, I was there. I saw the human fleet arrive. It was the most frightening thing I've ever seen. But I also saw what happened after. The humans powered down their weapons. They apologized to Administrator Pelshan. They offered to help upgrade the colony's safety systems. They didn't act like conquerors. They acted like people who made a mistake and wanted to fix it. What's your opinion of them now? Vexitara asked. Thren thought carefully. I'm still scared of them, but I'm also impressed. If I was ever in real danger, I would want the humans on my side, because I know they would come for me. I know they would bring everything they had. I know they wouldn't leave me behind. Several council members nodded slowly. They were starting to understand. A trade delegate from a peaceful species stood up. I have a question. The humans say they came prepared for anything, but they also brought medical teams and rescue equipment. Does this mean, if we were in danger, they would help us too? Jiwon smiled. Yes, that's exactly what it means. We don't only protect humans, we protect anyone who needs help. That's the other side of being from a death world. We know what it's like to be in danger. We know what it's like to need help. We won't leave people behind just because they're not our species. The chamber filled with whispers. Aliens talked among themselves, debating what they had learned. Some were still frightened. Some were curious. Some were calculating what human friendship could mean for their own safety. Vextara stood up. This session has been enlightening. I propose we take a recess to consider everything we've heard. Tomorrow we will vote on a formal response, but I will say this. The humans have shown us something important today. They have shown us loyalty, strength, and the willingness to admit mistakes. These are qualities we should respect, not fear. As the session ended, aliens filed out slowly. They looked at the humans differently now. The Deathworlders were still scary, but they were also reliable, protective, loyal, maybe even friends. 1 week had passed since the incident at Colony Pel 7. The human fleet was still there, but everything felt different now. The tension had disappeared. Instead, something unexpected was happening. Captain Minho stood in the colony's common area, watching Engineer Taeyong work. The young engineer was helping the Relthani upgrade their emergency systems. Pelshan watched with fascination as Taeyong explained each change. Your emergency beacon was too weak. Taeyong said, adjusting a panel. If you have a real emergency, no one will hear it in time. This new system will boost the signal and include automatic distress codes that every species can understand. But our old system was working fine, Pelshan said. Taeyong looked at him with surprise. Your old system. It barely had enough power to reach the next asteroid. If something bad happened here, you would all die before help arrived. We never thought about it. Nothing bad has happened before. That's the problem. You only think about safety after disaster strikes. Humans learn to prepare before disaster. It's how we survived. Pelshan nodded slowly. Your planet taught you to always be ready. Exactly. In another part of the colony, Dr. Hyejin was teaching young Relthani about human biology. Little Kipsha raised 3 of his 4 arms to ask a question. Yes, Kipsha? Hyejin smiled. Is it true humans can breathe poison? Hyejin laughed. We breathe oxygen. To us, it's normal. To you, it's dangerous. Just like you breathe methane, which would kill me. Neither is poison. We're just different. But you're so strong. I saw the security guard lift a heavy box like it was nothing. How? Earth's gravity is very heavy. We grow up lifting heavy things every day. Our bones and muscles get strong because they have to be. Here in your colony, with lighter gravity, we feel even stronger. Another young Relthani asked, Are all humans warriors? Hyejin thought about that. No, I'm a doctor. Engineer Taeyong makes things. Ambassador Jiwon talks to people. Captain Minho explores space. We have artists, teachers, farmers, scientists. But we can all fight if we need to. It's just part of surviving on Earth. Meanwhile, in a station orbiting nearby, Trade Coordinator Shen was having a very interesting conversation with Captain Sunwoo. Shen was a smart businessman from the Krell species. He saw opportunities where others saw problems. Captain Sunwoo, I have a proposal, Shen said, his 4 eyes bright with excitement. I'm listening. Several colonies in dangerous sectors have contacted me. Pirates sometimes attack them. Their security is weak. They want to hire human protection. Sunwoo raised an eyebrow. Hire us? As mercenaries? No, as security consultants. Your people would teach them how to defend themselves. You would design better safety systems. If real danger comes, they know you would respond quickly. What do we get out of this? Trade agreements, technology exchange, access to rare minerals, but more importantly, friends. You protect them, they support you. Everyone benefits. Sunwoo thought about it. I need to discuss this with Admiral Daehyun. Of course, but think about it. Right now, everyone in this sector knows what happened here. They know humans are strong and loyal. Some are afraid, but many are thinking, I want them on my side. This is your chance to turn fear into friendship. Back on Colony Pel 7, Ambassador Jiwon received a communication from the Galactic Council. Vexitara appeared on screen, looking pleased. Ambassador Jiwon, the Council has made a decision. We are formally recognizing the incident as an unfortunate accident caused by natural phenomena. No penalties will be issued against Earth or your fleet. Jiwon felt relieved. Thank you, Council Leader. We were worried about diplomatic consequences. There's more. Several council members want to discuss partnership opportunities with humanity. They're interested in your defense technology, your training methods, and your emergency response protocols. It seems your reputation as Deathworlders has become valuable. That's unexpected. Vexitara smiled, which looked strange on her alien face. You scared us, Ambassador, but you also impressed us. The galaxy needs strong friends. Friends who actually show up when there's trouble. Friends who bring medical teams along with their weapons. That's rare. After the call ended, Jiwon found Minho on the observation deck. He was watching the human ships in the distance. They looked less threatening now. more like guardians than threats. "How are you feeling?" Jiwon asked. Minho sighed. "Embarrassed. This whole thing started because of a message I sent. You didn't do anything wrong. Random chance caused this. But you know what? Maybe it was good that it happened. Good? We almost started an interstellar incident." "Yes, but look what came from it. The aliens understand us better now. They know we're protective but not aggressive. They know we'll come when called. That's worth something." Minho nodded slowly. Admiral Daehyun said the same thing. He said sometimes you learn more about people during mistakes than during perfect situations. On the Indomitable, Admiral Daehyun was meeting with his senior officers. Captain Sunwoo had just finished explaining the security consultant proposal. "What do you think, Admiral?" Sunwoo asked. Daehyun leaned back in his chair. "I think it's brilliant. We came out here to make friends, right? What better way than helping them stay safe? But we need rules. We don't become mercenaries. We help people defend themselves. We teach them. We support them. But we don't fight their wars for them unless it's truly necessary." "What about the fleet? Do we all go back to Earth?" "No. I'm going to ask for volunteers to stay. 3 ships should be enough for now. 1 battlecruiser, 1 destroyer, 1 medical frigate. They'll form a sector response team. If there's a real emergency anywhere nearby, they can respond quickly." "Who will command them?" "You, Captain Sunwoo. You handled this situation well. The aliens trust you. You're perfect for this job." Sunwoo felt honored. "Thank you, Admiral. I won't let you down." The next day, the human fleet prepared to leave, but first there was a ceremony. Administrator Pel Shan invited everyone to the colony for a farewell gathering. Aliens and humans mixed together, sharing food and stories. Little Kipsha approached Lieutenant Yuna shyly. "Excuse me, Lieutenant. Can I ask you something?" "Of course, Kipsha. What is it?" "When you go back to Earth, will you remember us?" Yuna knelt down to his level. "Of course we will. You're our friends now. Friends don't forget each other. Even though we're weak and you're strong, you're not weak. You're just different. Everyone has different strengths. You can survive in environments that would kill us. You can process minerals we can't even touch. You're peaceful and kind. Those are strengths too." Kipsha seemed happy with that answer. He gave Yuna a small crystal he had mined himself. "For remembering." Yuna accepted it carefully. "Thank you. I'll keep it forever." As the ceremony continued, Officer Thren spoke with Admiral Daehyun privately. "Admiral, I need to apologize. When I first saw your fleet arrive, I thought you were invaders. I was wrong. You were being cautious. That's your job. But I should have known better. The way your ships were positioned, they weren't attacking formations. They were protective formations. You surrounded the colony to shield it, not trap it." Daehyun smiled slightly. "You noticed that?" "Only after thinking about it. You humans are complicated. You come with weapons and medical teams. You scare us and help us at the same time." "We're survivors, Officer Thren. We learn to be ready for anything. That means bringing both weapons and bandages, both strength and kindness. It's the only way to truly survive." Later, as the human fleet prepared for departure, Vexitara sent one final message. It was broadcast to the entire sector. "People of the galaxy, a week ago we witnessed something that frightened many of us. A human military fleet arrived at a peaceful colony in response to a mistaken distress call. We saw their weapons, their armor, their strength. We called them Deathworlders and feared what they might do. But in the past week, we learned something more important. We learned that the humans are not conquerors. They are protectors. They will bring overwhelming force when their people are threatened, yes. But they will also bring doctors and engineers. They will bring help and friendship. They will stay to make things better, not just to win battles. The humans are dangerous, but they are dangerous to our enemies, not to us." Today, I am honored to call them our allies." On Earth, people watched the broadcast with pride. The faulty transmission that almost caused a disaster had instead opened new doors. Humanity had shown the galaxy what they truly were. Admiral Daehyun stood on the bridge of his flagship as the fleet jumped to FTL. Behind them, 3 ships remained: Sunwoo's battlecruiser, a destroyer, and a medical frigate. They would be the first permanent human presence in the sector. Minho watched from the observation deck of the horizon's edge. He thought about everything that had happened. A corrupted message, a massive response, fear and confusion, then understanding and friendship. It was strange how random events could change everything. His communicator beeped. It was a message from Earth Fleet Command. He opened it carefully, checking to make sure it wasn't corrupted this time. The message was clear and simple. "Mission accomplished, Captain Minho. You set out to make friends with the galaxy. You succeeded beyond our expectations. Well done." Minho smiled. He looked at Ambassador Jiwon, who was reading the same message. She smiled back. "We did it," she said. "We really did." As the human fleet traveled back to Earth, the galaxy began to change. Colonies that had feared the Deathworlders now requested their help. Trade agreements were signed. Technology was shared. Defense partnerships were formed. The humans were no longer the scary newcomers from a dangerous planet. They were the friends you wanted when trouble came. They were the ones who showed up with everything they had. On Colony Pel 7, Kipshaw looked up at the stars. 3 human ships orbited above, keeping watch. He felt safe knowing they were there. The Deathworlders were protecting them now, and somehow that made the universe feel a little less scary and a lot more friendly. Far away on Earth in the Fleet Command Center, Admiral Daehyun's words were recorded for history. "We came from a death world. We survived impossible odds. We learned to protect what we love with everything we have. Let that be our reputation. Let the galaxy know. Humans don't abandon their people. Humans don't forget their friends. And humans will cross the stars if someone needs help. That's who we are. That's who we'll always be." The faulty transmission had become legend. The day humanity showed the galaxy their true nature: strong but kind, dangerous but loyal, warriors and healers. Survivors who would share their survival with anyone who needed it. The Deathworlders had arrived, and the galaxy was better for it.